Hi there, it's Phill, Project Management Trainer and Coach with Praizion. The purpose of today's webinar is to announce to you a course that has been long time coming from Dr. David Hillson and myself. And this course is titled Risk Management for Professionals. Lots of the folks who are getting ready for the PMP exam usually ask, what next? Some of them go on to take the RMP exam, and there have been a lot of questions coming in. When are we going to have a course dedicated to the RMP, dedicated to risk management for professionals, a cut above what is in the regular PMBOK guide? Well, it gives me great pleasure to let you know that we have such a course available now. It's a collaboration between Dr. David Hillson and myself. We've been speaking about this for quite a while, but right now that course is available for you to go ahead and to take a look at the website. It's risktutors.com. So if you go to risktutors.com and take a look at the site, you'll be able to access information about the course that we have prepared for you. It's called Risk Management for Professionals, and it's a very, very detailed dive into the risk management professional content outline and risk management as a whole. We cover lots of topics, lots of points, risk strategy and planning. We cover all of the tasks required for that. Stakeholder engagement, which is domain 2 if you're getting ready for the RMP exam. Risk process facilitation, all about what it takes to facilitate risk processes is covered in detail. Risk monitoring and reporting, and all the tiny little nuances that people often mistake, and perform specialized risk analyses is also talked about. And of course, as we go through this information, David is making it real world to you. He's letting you see what exactly this stuff is made of. So if you are getting ready for the RMP exam and you truly mean business with your prep, I want to encourage you to visit risktutors.com. If you want to go straight to the course and bypass COM, if you go to riskresponder.com, you can immediately access the course. It's on demand, it's on Vimeo, and it's accessible to you. I watch that course on my mobile device right here. I became the student again watching that information on my mobile device, and it is very thorough, very detailed. He does an awesome job of breaking it down, and I'm asking him questions to further clarify common errors, common points that people get muddled up on as they're studying for the RMP exam. I took my RMP exam back in 2010, and I had nothing like this. If I had something like this, I'm sure I would have done a whole lot better. Not to say I didn't do great, but this would have been the icing on the cake. This would have, helped me to hit a home run in every single domain. I'm talking about above target. So I will encourage you folks, visit the site. Some of you are plodding through this document yourself. You know what this is. You're trying to plod through the risk management standard on your own. And PMI are coming out with a new one. That's the more reason why you want to sign up for this training course. Okay, I advise you, do it right away. Do it right away, because the quicker you get on it, the better. Get certified as an RMP if you're qualified to do so, and then you can move on to other things, other areas, other topics, and you can begin to add more value to people through what you're going to learn from both of us on this course. All right, so I want to play for you just a tiny little segment from the training that we have for this. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to post them in the chat or in the comments, and I'll get back to you with answers. All right, so I'm going to play for you the intro to this course, and I encourage you, if you know anyone getting ready for the RMP, let them know about this course. All right, here we go.
Welcome back. We're about to talk about the Risk Management Professional Content Outline. So David, can you take us through an overview of what this content outline is all about?
Yes, in our first introduction, if you listen to that, we talked about the structure of the content outline having domains, tasks, knowledge and skills. And there are 5 domains. These are the sorts of areas that a risk management specialist in the area of projects needs to be familiar with and practicing and skilled in in order to pass this certification and, more importantly, to be an effective risk manager in projects. So the 5 domains are these. Domain 1 is risk strategy and planning. That's about understanding which direction this particular project is going to go in for its risk management. Then we've got, very importantly, stakeholder engagement. That's domain 2. Domain 3 is risk process facilitation, and that's actually making sure that the process that the project team follows is effective and works and delivers. The 4th domain is risk monitoring and reporting, so making sure that the process itself is delivering. And then lastly, the 5th domain is to perform specialized risk analyses, which are things that only a risk specialist would be able to do in the project. So those are the 5 domains, and I think we're going to start at the beginning. We'll talk about domain 1 first, shall we?
Absolutely. So risk strategy and planning. David, why is this in the risk management professional content outline, and what should project managers be looking out for here?
Well, it's not project managers. Remember, it's the risk management specialists. And that's a key thing, and a lot of people are going to make exactly that same, not a mistake, just a refocusing. This is not for project managers, this is for the risk management specialist. So this is not project strategy and planning. Project strategy is the responsibility of the project manager, the project sponsor, and key stakeholders. But for the risk strategy and planning, then that's something that the risk specialist should contribute to. And so what we're saying here is that on the projects that have significant risk or significant complexity to need a risk specialist, and of course not all projects do, smaller, simpler projects may have risk tasks just undertaken by a member of the project team or the project manager themselves. But if your project is big enough and complex enough to need its own risk specialist, then the risk specialist is the one who can advise on what the risk strategy should be for the project. So projects exist. The reason we do projects is to take risk on behalf of our project owner, our project sponsor, and the stakeholders. What we're doing is we're saying, let's try and do something that's never been done before. Projects are unique and complex, and so we're taking risk by launching a project. And the whole purpose of project management is actually to manage risk on behalf of our project sponsor and our stakeholders. And so what we need to be sure of in each project is that we take the right level of risk. How risky is the project, and is that within the overall risk capacity of the organisation? So we're not taking such a risky project that we might blow the whole organisation out of the water. It needs to be within the overall risk appetite of the organisation, and we'll talk about these things a little bit later. So the organisation needs to have a view of how much risk the organisation wants to take, and within that context, how much risk are we taking with this project? And then we need to match the risk tolerances of our stakeholders to the risks that we actually take on the project. All of these are strategic decisions. They're about the positioning of the project within the portfolio that the organisation is undertaking. And the only person who's really qualified to advise on how risky the project is and whether that risk is acceptable is the risk specialist. So we need to take the right level of risk and then planning to take that safely. The risk professional is best placed to understand which risk approach is appropriate and necessary for the project to achieve its objectives within the level of risk that is involved in that project and the available resources of the project team. So it's really important to see that risk strategy for the project is a key part of the overall strategic planning for the project, but there's a risk element to this which may require specialist input. And the other thing just to say at the beginning of this domain, domain 1, is that it's very closely linked to domain 2, which is stakeholder engagement. Right. Because when we're devising the risk strategy, clearly we need to talk to our key stakeholders, to our project sponsor, to our senior managers, to our clients, to our users, and to make sure that the risk strategy that we set for the project is consistent with the level of risk that they want to take in the program, in the organisation, for our clients and users. And so we need to engage our stakeholders clearly as part of developing the risk strategy. So we'll find some overlap in the tasks between domain 1, risk strategy and planning, and domain 2, stakeholder engagement. But here we're going to focus, aren't we, just on domain 1?
Domain 1, absolutely. So when we come back, we're going to take a look at the different tasks in domain 1.
And that was just a taste of what this course offers you. Risk management professionals to be, people who are already PMI-RMPs. I'm an RMP, and I must tell you, I gained a phenomenal amount of benefits from going through this program with Dr. David Hillson and watching it again and again, and priceless. If you really mean business with your risk management, you're an RMP, you're trying to look for those gaps, things you're missing in your relationships with your stakeholders concerning risk, sign up for this training. I appreciate you joining, and I look forward to seeing you on the training. Thank you very much, and bye for now.